Hello, hi, welcome to another Your Truth and Love the Church with your brother Joseph. So we all know of these individuals in Zimbabwe who were calling for the people of Zimbabwe to go out and protest. And these are some of the videos we saw on social media.
Comrade Bob chawatongotaura ndatichimirirai muone action. Ndoda kuti muchikuona action chete muchanakirwa.
Well, we showed you a video where Pastor Chris was actually warning the people of Zimbabwe not to go into the streets, and they actually listened to his prophetic warning. As you can see, the streets of Zimbabwe are empty. No one actually agreed to take part in the protest. They actually snubbed, these individuals' call to arms and all those other things. So we're actually happy that there is peace in the nation of Zimbabwe. So I just want you to listen to this viral message that Pastor Chris delivered that actually caused the whole of Zimbabwe not to go into the streets.
And I'm calling on God's people throughout Zimbabwe. Don't let the devil take over your country. Don't let the devil destroy your country. Today we're praying, and you have to pray also. In fact, on Sunday, I call on all Christians throughout Zimbabwe, fast and pray for your country. Fast and pray for your country. Because those who are trying to stir up the people to go on some protest, it's not going to be peaceful. Don't believe them. It's not going to be peaceful. What I want to do is destroy the country. Don't let it happen. Don't let it happen. Anybody can receive money from sponsors and then come and talk and say, well, we're going to give our country a new vision. Where have they been? Where have they been? Those who are making broadcasts into the country, where have they been? Why do they want to topple the government now? Because they can't come into office in the right way. So what they want to do is topple the government. But it's not going to be peaceful. So don't let it happen. It's a deception. This is Satan's mode of operation. Don't let it happen. You have to be wise. You have to understand that this call to arms, this invitation to have some uprisings and go in the streets and so on, is not the solution. It's not the solution. These are very selfish people who want to take over the country. All for themselves. They're not going to help anybody. Sometimes when you are unhappy about a situation, if you don't consult the Lord, Satan will accommodate you. And urge you on into something that's not right. Because you're not listening to God. You're listening to your anger. You're listening to your bad feelings. He says, don't agree to go with them. You see it? If sin has enticed you, don't agree. He says, consent thou not. Yes, we are not happy about what's going on in the city. Yes, we're not happy about what's going on in the state. Or yes, we're not happy about what's going on in the country. So let's go on a rampage. Let's go on a protest. Ask the Lord, don't just join them because you agree with their cause. Just because you agree with their cause or what they're saying seems to make sense because you're feeling the same pain and the same dissatisfaction, doesn't mean go with them. And it's about time that God's people get the warning. Be wise. They make you destroy your country, destroy your city, and then at the end you get nothing. Have intelligent debates in the right places, in the right environments. Wake up. Use your education. Put it to work. Don't agree with those who tell you go out in the streets and kill those that don't agree with you. It doesn't work. Look at history. Look at history. At the end, many are killed. Many lose their lives. Many are injured, mobbed, maimed. And then what they wanted, they still don't get. They get into the hands of others who even do worse. Then you say, what do we do then? Well, first and foremost, learn to use the spiritual power that's given to us. Learn to use it. The spiritual power given to us. Learn to use it. Ask yourself, have you been praying for the government in office? Have you been praying for them? If you have not been praying for them, you have not done what God said to do. He told you in 1 Timothy chapter 2 from verse 1. Look at it. I exhort therefore that first of all supplications, prayers, intercessions, and giving of thanks be made for all men. Did you see complaints there? Did you see anger there? Use what God told you first. Do what he said. He said, I exhort therefore that first of all, before you complain, before you go on a protest, yes, sir. Right? Yes, sir. First of all, supplications, prayers, intercessions, and giving of thanks. He didn't say if they do well. And giving of thanks be made for all men. So pray for all men. Pray for all those in your country. And pray for other nations as well. Okay, look at the next thing. For kings, that means those who are top of the list in rulership, like the president or prime minister. And for all that are in authority. Now, you're talking about the senators, the representatives, the judiciary, all of that, and heads of institutions. Why? He says, that we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and honesty. That takes care of the crime, that takes care of the fraud, and all of those things that you complain about. He says, if you pray, as he told you in verse 1, for those in verse 2, you will get what verse 2 promises. If you haven't done that, going out in the street is not the will of God. So those of them that are planning to say 31st of March, we're taking over the streets of Zimbabwe, don't go with them.
Yes, sir.
God is not with them.
Yes, sir.
Don't go with them. Don't go. Do what God said to do.
Yes, sir.
Use the wisdom of God, and you will have solutions.
Yes, sir.
My son, if sinners entice you, do not consent. See that? Look at it in the NIV, on the Amplified. It's exactly what it's telling you. It says, my son, if sinners entice you, do not give in to them. Do not give in to them. Don't agree with them. Look at the AMPC. Very simple. My son, if sinners entice you, do not consent. Don't agree. Don't go with them. Don't go with them. We can build on the development we have so far, rather than destroying it and starting all over again.